Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala sharafil anbiya wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma infa'ni bima 'allamtani wa 'allimni ma yanfa'uni wa zidni ilman. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. So in the last session, we looked at, I believe, Mawsuf Sifa, which is one of the 5 fragments that we intend to study. And the way we figure out if the two words are into the relationship of Mawsuf Sifa is by looking at their properties. So every ism has got 4 properties. Mawsuf and Sifa are also at the core of it, they are ism, but functioning as Mawsuf Sifa. So if they are ism, they will definitely have their own status, number, gender and type. So all we do is we compare the SNGT of the first word with the SNGT of the next word. And if they are one-on-one match, then most probably that is going to be a Mawsuf Sifa with the interpretation of the second word being the description of the first word. So the second word describes the first word. That's how we interpret it when we have two words with the matching SNGT. That was the whole topic of yesterday. Today, inshallah, we would like to complete this series of fragment. So we have studied 4, one more is remaining. And as we said, there were 3 additional topics on top of 5 fragments. That was the complete study in the second phase of this course. So we have finished 4 fragments and we have finished 2 additional topics. So 1 additional topic and 1 fragment is remaining, which inshallah we plan to complete today. So the first topic that we want to take a look at is pointing words. So assuming again that we have memorized those words that were sent yesterday on the class group, right? The haza, hazani, haulai, right? Hazihi, hatani, haulai, zalika, zanika, ulaika, tilka, tanika, ulaika. Now in this, as I said, the dual words are rare. The middle columns are rare. And in Quran, it becomes super rare. So even if you focus on the singular and plural in the starting phase, that's also enough. So if you memorize haza, haulai, hazihi, haulai, zalika, ulaika, tilka, ulaika, that's also more than enough to get started. But if you can memorize the whole table, well and good. Okay. Unless anybody has any question, we will get started. Let me share the slide. Screen is shared. Oops. Okay, can you see the screen? I hope everybody is able to see the screen. Yeah, okay. Session number 14th. Okay, pointing words. So, haza, right? The first row. Hazani, haulai. Okay. Then hazihi, hatani, haulai. Zalika, zanika, ulaika. Tilka, tanika, ulaika. Those are the 10 words that represent the pointing words in Arabic language. So what are these pointing words? Well, basically whatever we use in English to point at some things. So whenever we want to point at that chair, this table, those houses. So these are all pointing words that we use to point at. The equivalent in Arabic, we call it as ismu ishara. That's the Arabic term. But for now, we can continue using pointing words. So there are these 10 different pointing words based on whether we are pointing at masculine thing, whether we are pointing at feminine object, whether we are pointing the thing that we are pointing at, is it near, is it far. So just like English, this and that, both of them are singular. What's the difference? Well, that is used usually relatively far things. This is a relatively near thing. So same thing in Arabic also, we have different pointing words for far and near things, for masculine and feminine. So all in all, with this combination, we get this 10 different words of haza, hazani, haulai and so on. So if you, by now you might have already got the idea what is this 3 columns and 4 rows consisting of. Well, as you guessed it, the first column is singular, second column is dual, third column is plural. So in a way, if you look at this, is very easy to memorize because the last column has only 2 words. Even though we see it as a 4 units, there are only 2 words, haulai, hulaika, that's it. And middle, okay, for now you can just ignore it, that's okay. So the 4 words are gone. What is remain? Only the first column, haza, hazihi, very matching, haza, hazihi, okay. And the next 2, zalika, tilka, that's it. So the first 2 start with ha, the next 2 end with ka, that's all. So you can develop your own thing that works with your mind and come up with these clues and come up with ways to memorize it. Rather than memorizing like a parrot, we can come up with this. Okay, last column is only 2 words, aulai, ulaika. The ka words are at the end, in the bottom of the table, ka, 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 ka. In the beginning are all ha, 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 ha. Okay, so that's a good sign to memorize. Haza, hazihi, and then zalika, tilka, ulaika, haulai. Okay, so singular, dual and plural. Now row wise if you go, again the same, almost same logic that we used in the pronoun table. First and third rows are masculine. Second and the fourth row are feminine. That's it. So masculine, okay, and near. So haza, hazani and haulai will be used for masculine objects and those objects that are near. Okay. Second row, feminine and near. So if there is something which is near and feminine, we would use hazihi if it is singular, or hatani, or haulai. The plural word is same for masculine and feminine. So that's a good thing for us. Less words to memorize. Plural is same. Doesn't matter whether it's masculine or feminine. If it is plural, we will use haulai if it is near. Okay. So the third row is again masculine, but this time for the far away objects. For the far away objects. Similarly, the last row is feminine for the far away objects. So if you have this map in mind, then when reading Qur'an and any of the word comes, alif, lam, mim, zalikal kitabu, zalika al kitab, zalika, oh okay, that ends in ka, so it should be in the last 2 rows. Zalika, oh that sounds like a third row. Okay, third row is masculine, okay, and singular. Okay, so that's why it is pointing at kitab. Kitab is masculine singular. Zalikal kitab. So that's how your brain gets tuned and automatically interprets the number, gender, far, near, and all that stuff. But what is the prereq for that? The prereq is you have to memorize it. That you have to do it. Then only these things will make sense. Otherwise, you will be like every time you're reading Quran, tilka. Okay, flip the notes back, forth. What is tilka? Feminine, near? No, we don't want to do that. Yes, there are some things we can keep in notes, but there are some things that need to be like a ready reckoner. They need to be in the brain like blue pages, yellow pages. In IBM they used to call blue pages, so I'm used to it. So yellow pages, right? So all the tables that we have studied in this course, those should be in the brain. Muslimun table, pronoun table, pointing table, right? All these tables, they should be feminine table, light table, table with al. This should be all readily available in the mind, not in the notes. Okay, any questions so far? This is the table. Now what remains from this is the meanings of these words. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at what do these words mean, although we have a rough idea of all these words. So haza is basically singular word, so it means this, and it is for near. So the only word which can be used for pointing, which is near and singular, is this. Hazani would be, of course, in English we don't have a single word for dual entity, so we use the plural word along with the word two. So we say these two. We say these two. And of course, haulai would be these. These. Similarly, hazihi would be the second row would be the same meaning as first, except you need to know that the second row is female. So hazihi would be this and female. Yes, there is one more additional meaning there. We will discuss once we finish this table. We will discuss what does that asterisk mean and why is there double meaning there. Hatani, these two, feminine, and of course haulai remains haulai. So it doesn't matter whether it's male or female, it's going to be these. So if you have understood these two rows, the next two rows are exactly the replica of the first two rows, except they are for faraway thing. That's it. So zalika would mean that, zanika would be those two, ulaika would be those. Tilka would be that feminine, tanika would be those two feminine, ulaika also. So if you study logically, nothing is complex, nothing is difficult. It just needs the determination to get started and then come out with ways to make even the complex looking things easy. So if you show this table, at the face of it, it looks like, whoa, I need to memorize this. Yes. But if you break it down and make it logically, it's nothing. As I told you, ignore the middle row. The last row is only 2 words. So all you have to do is focus on the first row. Those are the words which are coming more frequently. And over a period of time. Now look, just look 14 days back when you were first introduced to the Muslimun table. How odd and how complex it was sounding. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimani, Muslimi. Now you look at it, it's like, yeah, it was not that hard. I know it. Same thing will happen with all these things as you go forward. So don't make it a point of discouragement. Okay? Keep motivating yourself, keep motivating others. Everything is easy if we want it. Everything is difficult if we don't want it. Okay? It just depends how thirsty we are, how much water do you want to draw out from the well. If you are not thirsty, you will walk by the well, you will not even care. But if you are thirsty and dying of the water, you will do anything what you can to get the sip of water from that well. So it's up to us. Anyway, continuing further. So you got the meanings, you got the table, you got all the dynamics of the tables. Now, out of all the fragments, idafa, jar majroor, harf nasiba wa ismuha, harf of nasb and victim, mausuf sifa. The previous 4 that we studied, they were all fragments, which means what? You can, if you only use them, if you only use idafa, if you only use jar majroor, then you can never create a sentence by only using those things. No, you cannot. You need something additional to create a sentence because they by themselves are fragments. Fragments means incomplete sentence, incomplete idea, incomplete thought process. House of Zainab. Okay. Allah's masjid. Masjid of Allah. These are not sentences. No. Right? Pointing word is little bit different. It is a special fragment. Yes, it can create fragments like just other. That's why we are studying this relationship. It can create a fragment. But pointing word has been given an additional quality, additional feature. You can use pointing words even to create sentences. So I repeat, the previous 4 fragments can only be used to create fragments. You cannot create sentences by just using those units, those relationships. But pointing words can be used to create fragment as well as sentences. Depends how you use it. So that's why this fragment is special and not like other 4. It's a powerful fragment. So every time you see idafa, you know it's a fragment. Every time you see jar majroor, it's a fragment. But every time you come across a pointing word, aha, no, hold on. Don't jump to the conclusion. Don't jump the gun. Look, is it creating a sentence or is it creating a fragment? If it is creating a fragment, then the interpretation should be like a fragment, incomplete thought. If it is creating a sentence, it should make a sense. It should make complete sense. That's how I should interpret if it is creating a sentence. Okay, so the $1 million question is, how will I know whether this pointing word, zalika, ulaika, tilka, is it creating a sentence or a fragment? Very easy, super easy. All you have to do is, see, whenever we are using pointing words in any language, whether English or Arabic, there will be 2 words. One, the pointing word itself, and the second is the thing at which we are pointing at. Those are the two things. That's how they are called fragment. Every fragment is made up of two words. So in this case, what you have to do is, every time you come across a pointing word, look at the next word at which it is pointing at. Is it starting with al? Yes. Okay. In that case, it will be a fragment. If the next word has a al, the word after pointing word has a al, it is going to be fragment. But if the next word is without al, that's a sign. It's a sentence. So don't ever translate it like an incomplete thought process. Now it has created a sentence, not a fragment. So easy to figure it out. Like for example, if I tell you haza kitabun, the pointing word is haza. So the word after pointing word, does it have a al or not?
No.
No. So is it a sentence or a fragment?
Sentence.
Right. So we should translate this as a sentence. Okay. So how should I translate it? Well, haza means this, kitab means book. So if I want to make a sentence out of these two words, the minimum I could do is, this is a book. That's it. This is a book. That's a sentence. And we create it using a fragment, using pointing word. Okay. But if I take the same pair of words and tweak it just little bit, थोड़ा सा बदल करूँगा. क्या करूँगा? I will add a al over kitab. I will add a al over kitab. Now, it is no more a sentence. No. It has become a fragment because you added a al on the next word. So this translation should be,
This book.
yes, this book.
This book.
That. So if you tell someone, hey, this book, what? That's not a sentence. He will say, what? What about this book? Tell me. This book is really good. Okay, that's a sentence. But by just using the pointing word, this book, that's a fragment. That's how you figure it out. So every time you come across a pointing word, attention to the next word. Al, fragment, no al, sentence.
But sir, kitabun here, in the first, this is a book example. Kitabun is rafa.
Okay.
But we are saying this is a book. But we are giving the detail of that sentence.
Okay. So that's what happens when the advanced students join the basic class. They start thinking in the advanced term. Yes, your question is right. Here is the thing. I think I had given this example in the previous, somewhere the same thing came up, so I gave the example. You see, we have been taught that, how do I put it? Everyone who lives in Maharashtra is also an Indian. So every Maharashtrian is an Indian. Every Maharashtrian is an Indian. But not every Indian is a Maharashtrian. You understand? Every Maharashtrian is an Indian, but not every Indian is a Maharashtrian. So what we have studied is, every Maharashtrian is an Indian. But now when you look at those every Indian, we think like every Indian should also be Maharashtrian. No, it doesn't work like that. So what we have studied here is, yes, kitabun, we have studied it as a doer. So now let me put it in the grammar language, the same thing. Every doer will be rafa. Every doer. Yes, what we have studied is correct. Every doer is rafa. But not every rafa is a doer. You understand? Every rafa is not a doer. Like, if I give you another example to make it more clear, when we started studying when we were young, 15 days back, we said that if you see a jar, it is after off. If you see a jar, it is after off. But then we just studied some days back that there are jars which are not after off. Harf of jar and victim. You don't put off there. Alallahi, upon Allah. There is no off there. So nobody asked the question there. You see that? So what we are studying is starting from the basic concept and then building upon it. So whatever we studied is right, but there is more to it. So haza kitabun, yes, logically if you see the sound, oh, that's the detail. Haza kitabun. No, it's not a detail. This is a sentence which is a nominal sentence and it has two parts. So that's why I regret to explain this detailed thing because it makes things complex for the students who are starting. So this has two parts, subject and predicate in English. So subject and predicate, this is the topic that is being dealt here. So for now, just remember that every doer is a rafa, but not every rafa is a doer. So that's what the concept is here. This is the jumla ismiya, which has got a mubtada, which has got a khabar. The khabar has to be rafa, the mubtada has to be rafa. You will not understand any of those things. So for now, just remember our topic is pointing word. Pay attention to the pointing word. Okay? The other concepts, they will become clear as we go on. So at this moment, forget about that detail about thing. What we are studying? Pointing word. What's the pointing word? Haza. Okay. I am being told every time a pointing word comes, look at the next word. That's it. Forget about resting everything else. Is the word having al? It's a fragment. Doesn't have al? It's a sentence. Got it, everyone? Okay. So this is how you deal with the pointing word. The important thing is about the next word. Does it have a al or not? Okay. So, pointing words are called as asmaul ishara or ismu ishara, but you can ignore that for now. All of them are non-flexible except the duals. Okay, so all the pointing words, haza, hazihi, tilka, ulaika, zalika, they have only one face. Haza is always haza. It will never become hazi or hazu. No. Why? Because they are non-flexible. They have only one face. Except the dual. The dual change a bit. Zanika can become zainika. Tanika can become tainika. Okay, that's why I said. So for now, if you ignore the dual row, life is more easy. So focus on the singular and plural. Okay, singular and plural, they are all non-flexible. They look the same. And as we studied in the common proper thing, they are all proper. So it was one of the 7 ways. Pointing words are proper. Why? Because when you point at, you are specific. So that's why it is proper. And as we just saw, they can create fragment as well as sentence. They can create fragment as well as sentence. Okay, so this is the only fragment that has the capability to create sentence. Now about that thing, in the table there was 2 words, right? Hazihi and tilka. They had an asterisk on it, and there were 2 meaning. One was singular, the other was plural. Okay, so I told you after the table we will discuss it. So the thing is, hazihi is a singular word, right? Hazihi is a singular and feminine. Singular and feminine. Okay, that is sound something we have studied. Singular and feminine. That should remind us of the broken plural. So what it is telling is, if you are pointing at a broken plural and it's a non-human broken plural, then you will use hazihi, even though it's a plural. Why? Because that's a broken plural and it's a non-human broken plural, must be treated like a she, and the pointing word for she is hazihi. Okay, so hazihi could be used for a singular feminine actually thing that is singular feminine, or it could be used for a non-human broken plural. Okay, same is with tilka. Tilka is also feminine. So if there is a non-human broken plural in the far away distance, we could use tilka. So depending upon how hazi and tilka are used, their meaning could be this or these or that or those. So depends at whom they are pointing at. Okay, so keep that thing in mind. The broken plural keeps coming back, keeps haunting us. Don't forget the concept, the 2 basic rules. Non-human broken plurals must be treated like a she. Human broken plurals may be treated like a she. Okay? So far so good? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, so with that, let's do some practice with the words from Qur'an. Am I able to figure out whether this is a sentence or a fragment? Okay, so here is the first one. Zalikal kitabu. Is it a sentence or a fragment? Fragment. It's a fragment. Yeah, that's it. Very easy to figure out. And how will you translate this?
This book.
That
book.
That book. Don't get confused, this and that. This is haza. So, zalikal kitabu la rayba fihi. That book. Okay, second one. Sentence fragment.
It is sentence.
Sentence.
It is sentence. It is sentence. Okay, don't get confused with that. It seems like there is a al. There is no al. Actually, there is the distance is very less because of the font. It is haza la sahirun alimun. It's not al, because if it was al, there would not be any fatha on the lam. So that's a sign. No, this is not al. Haza la sahirun alimun. Okay, sahir means magician. Sahirun alimun, mausuf sifa. See, you have pointing word also, you have mausuf sifa also. Sahir means magician, alim means knowledgeable. So that is a knowledgeable magician if you translate, because this is a sentence. Sorry, this is a, okay, there is a la also. La means certainly, surely, like innal insana la fi khusrin. So this la is not harf of jar. Harf of jar is li. So haza la sahirun alimun. This is surely a knowledgeable magician. Okay, this is surely a magician, certainly a knowledgeable magician. Because it's a sentence, we are translating it like a sentence. What about this? Hazihis shajaratu.
Fragment.
It's a fragment. As shajaratu. Fragment. Shajar means tree. Shajar means tree. How will you translate this? This tree. This tree. Yeah. Don't say this is a tree. No, that's a sentence. This tree. This tree. Okay, number 4. Haza Rabbi.
It's a sentence.
Sentence. Haza Rabbi is a sentence. Rabbi has a ya, which means the attached form of ana. My Rabb. This is my master.
It's fine.
Yeah, this is my master. This is my Lord. This is my Rabb. Sentence. Okay? Fine. Is there some more? Yes. Okay, good. Has a baladan. Has a baladan. Sentence, fragment.
Fragment.
Huh? Fragment? How?
Sentence.
There is no al. After haza, there is a baladan. There is no al.
This city.
No, yeah, this city, this country, this whatever it is, yeah. So this is a sentence. So it should be not this city, this is a city, or this is a country. This is a sentence. This is a sentence, okay. Balad usually means country or even city, okay. Depends how we use it. Tilka ummatun. Tilka ummatun.
Sentence.
It's a sentence. Tilka ummatun is a sentence. Is a sentence. Umma means nation. Translate it.
That. No. Tilka.
That's it. That.
Tilka.
There are 20-25 students. Come on.
That is a nation.
That is a nation. Come on. We are into 15th day of the class now. Start speaking. When are you going to speak?
That is a nation.
That is a nation. 25 students and the voice is only of 2 or 3 frequency. That's it. If that's the attitude, it's going to be difficult to learn the language. You need to start speaking. You need to start behaving like a teacher. Tilka ummatun. That is a nation. Hazal Qur'anu. Sentence fragment. 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 Translate. This is a Quran. No.
This Quran.
This Quran. Start understanding the difference between. That's the reason we are first deciding is it a sentence or fragment. Then we are translating. So our labeling and translation should match. While labeling we are saying fragment, while translating we are translating like a sentence. No, it should match. Fragment means fragment. This Quran. Okay, this Quran. Clear? Questions? Okay, as usual, no questions. Is that all? Okay, so that was the end of pointing word. There's nothing to it. Pointing words, just remember the table, the meanings and the location of all the words and importance of the next word, having al or no al. There is gray sentence or a fragment. That leaves only one topic, a small topic, which will answer your question that was just asked. Okay, why is that? It sounds like a detail. Why is it Rafa? So that's is related to this. This is yes.
So we saw in proper noun when we use al, it means the. So why are we not translating as this the Quran?
This,
Is
the,
that the-
this, the Quran, that, the Quran. Okay. So, as I told you, English language has got lot of additional tools at its disposal apart from the usual bank of alphabets. So, there are 26 alphabets. Apart from that, we have so many tools to indicate special effects on the words. We have apostrophe, we have double quotes, we have underline, we have italics, we have bold and unbold. We have lots of things. Semicolon, colon, to indicate certain aspect, linguistic aspects. Arabic doesn't use those additional tools. It uses its alphabet itself, words itself for that effect. Like just now you saw, Haza la sahirun mubin. La is a huruf, but it is using as something to emphasize, to make it bold, to make it underline. So the point that I'm trying to make it, we use the words and the alphabet itself to have this extra sound effect, extra linguistic effect. So al does not always mean the. Al has many other usage. So al, when used with pointing word, it indicates it's a fragment. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the. Every time I see al, it is the. Al is the when it is not being used with the pointing word, or it's the first word of the sentence. That time it is the. But al has a lot of uses. Min means from, but I can tell you 7 different meanings of min. Doesn't mean always from, right? Be, Bismillah. Be doesn't mean always bid or by. Be has a lot of other usages. So the point is, we need to I told you right in the beginning itself for the preposition, don't hard code the meanings in your brain. Al means the. Every time I come across al, I'm going to say the. No. Arabic is a very powerful and rich language. It's very flexible. So we have a lot of different meanings based on how we used, based on where we are using it. So al does not mean the when used with the pointing word. Remember, whenever it comes after the pointing word, it is not the. It is just there to tell you, don't translate this as a sentence. I am fragment. That's what it's telling. So it's a different role to play. Got it? Yes. So, although we are not going to go into details in this course, but just idea that in Arabic language, there are 2 main types of sentences. Any sentence you pick up, any ayah you pick up, it will be belonging to this one of these 2 types of sentence. So there are 2 types of sentence. One is called as jumla ismiya, other is called as jumla failiya. Okay, jumla failiya means verb based sentence, which inshallah we intend to study from tomorrow onwards. Jumla failiya. But just to give you a small idea of jumla ismiya means ism based sentence, and that's what we have been studying so far. So any sentence that is ism based or starts with an ism, it's a jumla ismiya, basic definition. And any sentence that starts with a verb, fail, that's a jumla failiya. So in the jumla ismiya, whatever we have studied so far, there are certain verbs which are super important, especially for people like you and me who are non-Arabs, and English is our predominant language, we understand it. So in English, there are certain verbs which are always required when you are talking about jumla ismiya, which in English they call it as nominal sentence. So in a nominal sentence, there are certain verbs which bound to happen, like is and are. You cannot have a sentence without this. If you are making an English sentence, you need that is and are. Now again, in Arabic, we don't have the equivalent of is and are. We don't have it. Just like the idafa, we don't have an equivalent of. What do you do for conveying the of? Well, we make a special construction of idafa. Okay, so what do you do to get the meaning of is? Now that's what we want to learn. When should I put a is in the sentence? Or there is one more question related to this. First of all, does this sentence need a is when I translate in English? Okay, yes. Okay, if it needs a is, and there are 5 words, where should I put the is? How will I know it? So those are the 2 challenges that inshallah we are going to try to solve it today, so that from today onwards you will understand why is this is coming, where it should come. So these 2 things, figuring out the is in the Arabic sentence. Okay. So in order to make the correct and sensible translation, we need to figure out 2 things, as I told you, due to this sentence containing the word is. If yes, then what is the proper location of it? First of all, because not all the sentences need is. Right? In English, if I tell you, he helped. He helped. That's it. That's a complete sentence. Well, I didn't need the is. Yeah, you don't need the is. But then there are sentences where I will need is. Muhammadun talibun. Muhammad is a student. Now I needed is. But in Arabic, there is no is. Muhammadun talibun. Only 2 words. But when I translate, I get 3 words in English. So how will I know there is a is here? And how do I know where to put the is? Those are the 2 challenges which we are going to try to solve them. So from today onwards, you will have a better feeling for this is. How do I figure it out? Okay. So all in all, there are 5 hints or clues that will tell you, hey, an is required here. If you are going to translate this in English, you need a is. Okay. And the is will come here. It will also tell you that. So this will make our life a bit easy. So how many clues? 5 different clues. Okay, very first clue that a is required is when you see a proper word followed by a common word. A proper word followed by a common word, aha. Probably there is a is here because there is a proper followed by common. For example, the very common phrase that we hear day in and day out, multiple times a day, multiple times in that moment, that is Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbaru. Allahu Akbar. How do you translate this?
Allah is the greatest.
Allah is great. Okay, yeah, okay. So anyway, you see the is there. Where did you put the is from? There is no is here. I have only 2 words, Allah and Akbar. But the translation says Allah is great. Well, that's because the proper word Allah was followed by the common word Akbar. So that's the reason we put a is there. And where should I put the is? Before the word Allah? After the word Akbar? No. It will be in between the proper and common. So it will be immediately following the proper word. There will be a is every time you see. Okay? Allahu Akbar is Allah is actually the correct. I asked many students, many people. Some of them say Allah is great. Some of them Allah is greatest. Some of them say Allah is greater. Well, it can't have all the 3 meanings. It has to have only one meaning, right? So if you study further, go to the advanced courses, you will understand that the Akbaru word is on a certain format. And if you have seen a video, I don't know how many of you see the videos that I sent you. I don't send too many, but I sent the related ones. Just 2 days back, I had sent a video of mine where it explained different formats of the word. What do they mean? So I think that was exclusively for diminutive format. But there are formats of the word. When I'm looking at the word, I might not know the exact meaning, but I know this word is related to this aspect. So this word Akbaru is on a particular format. And the moment a student of Arabic looks at this, even if he or she doesn't know the meaning, they will tell you this is a comparative word. It is comparing to. How do you know it? Well, the format of the word tells me. So if it is comparative, the translation should be Allah is greater and not Allah is great or Allah is greatest. No doubt Allah is greatest. But in this sentence, it means Allah is greater. That's why the muezzin is shouting, Allah is greater, Allah is greater. But Allah is greater is a fragment. Allah is greater. I need something more after it, right? Anyway, that's a separate discussion. But remember, there is a is in between proper and common. That's the first hint, first clue for us as a non-Arab English speaking people. Hey, there is a is here. Clue number 1. Clue number 2. How do I know there is a is? Well, every time you see a harf of nasb, every time you see a harf of nasb, there will be a is. So the harf of nasb, if you remember, we studied when we were young. Inna, anna, ka'anna, bi anna, laita, lakinna, la'alla. Every time you see this, there will be a is. Okay, but the sentence might be long. Innal insana lafi khusrin. Where should I put the is? Well, you should put the is after the victim of harf of nasb. You will have a harf of nasb and there will be a victim. After victim, put the is, no matter how many words are there. So you not only know there is a is, you also know where to put the is. Okay, so for example, our favorite surah, Innal insana lafi khusr. So inna is a harf of nas. Where is the victim? Al insana. So put after insana. You will get the translation. Right? So the is will be exactly after the word insana. That's why the translation is indeed human being. And then what? Is. Is. Forget about loss. Focus on the thing that we are studying. Indeed human being is. Blah blah blah. Whatever it is. The important thing is to figure out there is a is and where it comes. Okay? Innal insana lafi khusr. Indeed, the human being is surely in loss. That's the clue number 2. That there is a is. Okay? What's the clue number 3? Well, clue number 3 says that every time you come across a detached pronoun, there will be a is. Every time you see a detached pronoun. And what are the detached pronouns? Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. Ana, nahnu. Any of these words you see, there will be a is. There will be a is. For example, Kul, huwa Allahu ahad. Every time we read this, how do we translate? Say, He is Allah. So where the is comes? After the pronoun. After the pronoun, there will be a is. Say, He is Allah, the one only, the unique. Say, He is Allah. Where the is came? After the detached pronoun. Every time you see a detached pronoun, there is a is. That's the hint number 3. Okay? Then you go to clue number 4, where there could be is. And that is just what we studied right now. If you see a pointing word and the next word does not have al, there will be a is. If there is a pointing word and the next word does not have a al, then there will be a is. And where will be the is? Immediately after the pointing word. Immediately after the. That's why we were translating Haza Kitabun as this is a book. That's why the is was put there. Okay? So it will be immediately after the pointing word. So this will translate as Qaum means nation. Okay? This is a nation. This is a nation. This is a nation. Okay? So those are the 4 clues. I said 5, but before we go on to the 5th, let me just quickly summarize. First clue, proper followed by a common. Allahu Akbar. Second, harf of nasb and victim. Innal insana lafi khusr. Third, detached pronoun. Kul huwa Allahu ahad. After the detached pronoun. Fourth, after the pointing word if the next word does not have a al. So those are the 4 hints that there will be a is and where it will be. Now here is the last one, which is not as straightforward as the first 4, but this is the master technique to figure out the is. It can work in any situation. You don't need a pointing word, you don't need a pronoun, you don't need a proper common, nothing. You can use this technique in any sentence and it will work, and it will tell you if there is a is or not, and if it is, where it is. So this is the master technique. But every time you are trying to figure out is, first use the easy ones. Proper common, harf nasb, victim, detached pronoun, pointing, use that. If they are there, you can quickly figure it out. But if none of them work or you are not able to figure it out, use this master key, the number 5. It will always work. Okay? And what is this master key? This master key is labeled as breaking of the chain. That's what we call it as. Breaking of the chain. Of course, this is not the gold chain or the train chain. This is the chain of the words. Okay, so what does this mean? In a sentence, there are multiple words. Okay? Now let's say none of the first 4 apply, or we don't want to use the first 4, you want to use this. How do I use it? For example, let's take a sentence with 3 words. There's a word number 1, word number 2, word number 3. Okay, so how do I apply this? How do I know whether there is a is or not, and if it is, where? So what do you do is, you start checking the relationships between the words. As we have studied the different relationship in this fragment series, you check the relationship between word number 1 and word number 2. Hey, is there a relationship between these 2 words? Any relationship? If you are able to figure out, aha, okay, these 2 words are into this relationship, that means there is no ease in between them. No ease. 1 and 2. Okay, then you go on to 2 and 3 and you do the same thing. Is there a relationship between these 2 words, number 2 and number 3? No, there is no relationship. No relationship? Okay. Then I need to have a link between these 2 words, because the link is broken, the chain is broken. So how do I establish the link? I put the is there. I put a is there. If there is a chain, broken. If the 2 words are into some kind of relationship, then you don't put is. Is not required, because the chain is already there. The chain is already there. You got it what I said? So if there are 3 words, check 1. Let's say there are 5 words. Okay, check between 1 and 2. Then 2 and 3. Then 3 and 4. And then 4 and 5. And the moment you figure out there is a is, that's it. Stop checking now. No more is. In a sentence, there can be only one is. That's it. So that's what is basically is being said here. Check for the relationship between the words and its next word. As long as it exists, no need of is. Wherever the chain breaks, an is required. Does everybody understand? I'm going to show you example. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's take the very first verse of the Qur'an. Okay? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Fine. Okay. So how do I apply this logic of breaking of chain? Okay, to make things easier to get started, let's assume this ayah was sent down by Allah starting with Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdu word is not there. So for the time being, just assume Alhamdu is not there. We will add it later. Okay. So Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. Can you tell me how many words? Lillahi till Alameen. How many words? 3. 4. Anybody for 5? So I have 3 and 4. Come on, others, speak. Get up from your sleep. Okay, so they are not going to speak. Okay, so this is not 3 words, this is 4 words. This is 4 words. Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. Li is the. So if you are not able to figure out which word, then this is not going to work for you. It's going to be difficult. You need to know the individual words. Lillahi is not one word. Allahi is one word. So the la is separate word. That's why the word Allah has become jar. So li, then Allahi, then Rabbi, and then Alamina. 4 words are there. So the first skill you need is to count the words. If you get a wrong there, that's it, you are gone. If the beginning is wrong, the result will be wrong. So there are 4 words. Okay, the technique says check the relationship between the first 2 words, which is 1 and 2. So is there a relationship between the word li and the word Allahi? Any relationship?
Yes.
They are jar majroor? Yes. That's why the word Allah is jar. So they are into relationship. Okay. So there will be no ease between li and Allahi. Don't put a ease. They are already into relationship. Okay. Any relationship between the word Allahi and the word Rabbi? No. Okay, in that case, the question would be, if there is no relationship, can somebody explain why the word Rabbi is Rabbi and not Rabbu? Because by default, we are told that it should be Rafa. I see it as a jar. What's its reason?
Because jar majroor.
Because of li. So I had already told you that one harf of jar affects only one word. Now you are affecting the whole rest of the series of all the words affected by jar. La already got its victim, the word Allah. Now why do you are going to make all the words jar just because of one la? No, that doesn't work like that. It only affects one word.
Sir, yeah, except only kasra you have to before it.
Which ya?
The ya in Rabbi.
There is no ya in Rabbi. Where is the ya in Rabbi? There is no ya in Rabbi.
Yes, kasra over there.
It's only kasra. So the question is, why is it jar? Why is it jar? It's a
It can have two majroor, na? Jar majroor. na?
It can have two majroor? Who said that? Go and watch the videos. I have clearly told one harf of jar can affect only one word. Unless they are joined by wa. Don't see any wa here. This is the very first verse of the Qur'an and we are stuck with it. So that shows there is still a lot more to learn. Anyway, so we don't have much time.
Light form of
Yeah, that is true. It is light form of ism and there is a reason for it. But the question was, why is it jar? Jar has nothing to do with light. If a word is light, that does not mean it has to be jar. No. Rabbus samawati wal ardi. Rabbu is light. Rabbus samawati. So it is rafa. The question is, why is it jar? That's the question. It has nothing to do with light and heavy. Okay. I had told you that there are these two reasons for a word to be jar, and there is a third one which we have studied yesterday. Mausuf sifa. So if a mausuf is jar, the sifa has to be jar. So the word Rabb is a quality. Rabb is not a name. Rabb is a quality. Yes, it's a name of Allah. All the qualities of Allah are called as names of Allah. So this is a quality of the word Allah. It is describing the word Allah, that Allah is a Rabb. Okay, so if it is sifa, it has to follow the mausuf. The word Allah is singular, masculine, jar, proper. The word Rabbi is also singular, masculine, proper. How is it proper? Because the after of is proper, alamina. Alamina has al on it. So we studied the rule in the common proper 7 ways, that if the word after of is proper, then the before of is proper. That's why Rabbi is proper. So Rabbi is matching in 4 properties with the word Allah because it is sifa. So which means in the word Allah and the word Rabbi, there is a relationship of mausuf sifa. No ease will come here. No ease. So in between li and Allah, no ease. In between the word Allah and Rabb, no ease. Okay, is there any relationship between Rabbil Alamina? Mudaf ilayh. That's why it is light. Alamina is jar. Okay, so there's a relationship between that. That's it. The complete word list is finished. There's a relationship between 1 and 2. There's a relationship between 2 and 3. And there's a relationship between 3 and 4. Which means, if I translate Lillahi Rabbil Alamina, I should not need the word is or are. I should not. Am I able to translate? Yes. Li means for Allah, Rabb means master, and Alamina means world. For Allah, the master of the worlds. I did not need the is. Why? Because they are all into relationship. For Allah, the master of the worlds. But the ayah is not like that. It doesn't start with li, it starts with alhamdu. Okay, so now we go back to the drawing table again. Okay, so now we have 5 words. Alhamdu, li, Allahi, Rabbil Alamina. We already solved the last 4. Now all we can do is to make it things quicker. Check if there is a relationship between the word alhamdu and li. Do you see any relationship between the word alhamdu and li? Any relationship you can establish? Huh? No, you cannot. No relationship. Oh, so the chain is broken here. Which means if I want to connect this together, I need to put a is there. And that's why, how do we translate? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise and gratitude is for Allah, the master of the worlds. All praise and gratitude is for Allah, the master of the worlds. Now we needed a is. So that's how we figure it out. Does the sentence need is? And if it is, where should I put it? This is an important concept. Here is one more example. Fi qulubihim maradun. Allah says in Qur'an, Fi qulubihim maradun. So 4 words. Fi qulubihim maradun. Okay. Again, same logic. We check between 1 and 2. Is there relationship between fi qulubi? Any relationship?
Yes.
Jar majroor. See, all that what we studied in the previous sessions are coming for our rescue. We need the help of that. Jar majroor. Okay. So if you don't know the relationship, you will never be able to use this technique. So you need to know all the fragments. So fi kulubi, jar majroor. Okay. Any relationship between kulubi and him?
Sir, आप मुदाफ़ इलैह
Kulubi is light. No al. Him is attached. Attached can only be nasb or jar. But kulubi is an ism. Kulub means hearts. Okay. So pronoun attached to ism. That is idafa. Okay. So they are into the relationship of idafa. So relationship between kulubi and him. Now any relationship between him and maradun, can you establish? Him is an attached pronoun. The attached pronoun will always have a relationship to the word it is attached. It can never have a relationship to the word to which it's not attached. So no question of any relationship between him and maradun. Okay. So the chain is broken here. Here is the chain broken. Put a is there. So fi means in. Kulubi is the plural of qalb. Qalb means heart. Kulub, hearts. Him means theirs. So in their hearts, heart of theirs, in their heart dash disease. Marad is a disease. Mareez बोलते हैं उर्दू में. Maraz is a disease. So in their heart is a disease. Without a is, it will not make sense. So we figured out that this sentence needs is, where the is should come. See, in English, the is placement is very important. You cannot just put is anywhere. This boy is. No. You want to say this is a boy. Is this a boy? See, if I put is here, it becomes a question. Or this boy is. Okay, now it's a different sentence. This boy is very smart. Is. The moment you start changing is, the meaning changes. So we need to know the precise location of is. And that's how we figure it out. Yes. Clear? Okay. So that was one of the topic remaining to figure out the is in the sentence, which is a core part of Jumla Ismiya. As far as Jumla Feiliya is concerned, we are going to start from tomorrow. Okay, which is a very, very important session. Don't miss it. If you miss it, then it's going to cause fatal damage to our series of studies. Okay. Now let's do some quick practice and wrap this up. We are already too late. So figure out the is. Okay, so now you will use all this technique and figure out if there is a is, and if it is, where it will be. Here is the very first word for you. Al-anfalu lillahi. Where will the is come?
The Anfal.
Why? Reason. Give me the reason also.
Lillahi is jar and into.
No. Lillahi is jar. No. Lillahi is itself is two words. Huh? How many words?
4.
No, 4 words. Al is not a word. Al is a prefix. Al is not a word. So 3 words. 3 words. And I already see the relationship between the word number 2 and 3. Lillahi is into relationship. That's it. So what is left? Only 1 and 2. It cannot be any relationship because li is already attached. Li is in the relationship with the word Allah. So that's it. There's a breaking of chain there. There will be an is here. Anfalu lillahi. Anfal means the spoils of war. The spoils of war are for Allah. That's it. You'll get a R there because it's plural. The spoils of war are for Allah. That's it. Easy. What about this? Kannaka hafiyun. Where it will come? Why?
Sir, after Kannaka.
Why?
Kannaka is a harf of nasab.
Kanna is a harf of nasb. Ka is a victim. And we said that it will come after the victim. So it will be here.
Victim. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. Kannaka hafiyun. As though he is well informed. Right? So kannaka, that's how we figure it out. Where the is or are will come. Okay. Adh-dhalimuna fi dhalalim mubinin. Where do you think and why?
Sir, as Zalimuna ke baad is Salima.
Kyun? Breaking of chain. You see, dhalalim mubinin mawsuf sifa. Fi dhalalim jar majroor. So the only thing left is az-zalimuna and fi. There cannot be any relationship because fi is into relationship with dalali. You cannot have backward forward. So it's already into, which means the chain is broken there. So you need a is there. Az-zalimuna fi dalalim mubinin. The wrongdoers are in clear deviation. The wrongdoers are. Okay, how did you get the are? Because the chain is broken there. Inna Allah qadirun. Where will the is come? We don't say after Allah. We say after the word Allah. After the lafzu dalala. Okay? After the word Allah. So inna Allah qadirun. It will be. So indeed Allah is capable. Okay? Inna Allah qadirun. Lakinni rasulun. Why? Why? हर्फ ऑफ यस हर्फ ऑफ नस्ब विक्टिम के बाद आएगा सो लाकिन्नी के बाद आएगा लाकिन्ना मीन्स हाउएवर ई मीन्स आई सो इट्स अटैच फॉर्म होना हाउएवर आई एम यहाँ पे एम आएगा यू सी इन इंग्लिश देर इज आर देर इज ईज एंड देर इज एम सो हियर सिंस इट्स सिंगुलर एंड फर्स्ट पर्सन इट विल बी एम हाउएवर आई एम अ मैसेंजर हाउएवर आई एम अ मैसेंजर गॉट इट Okay, so बोलो
Lakinni is a pronoun, no? Need after pronoun is will come.
No, lakinna is a harf of nasb. So उसके बाद ana था, but harf of nasb will change ana to ni because harf of nasb का जवाब क्या है? जो भी इसम है उसके बाद उसको नस्ब करना सो अना का नस्ब फॉर्म इज नी बिफोर लाकिन्नी केम इनटू पिक्चर इट वाज लाइक दिस रिमूव लाकिन्नी सो इट इज अना रसूलुन आई एम अ मैसेंजर सो देयर वाज अना देयर ओके सो एडेड लाकिन्ना लाकिन्ना इज अ हर्फ ऑफ नस्ब सो इट्स गोइंग टू चेंज अना टू नस्ब अना इज अ रफा बिकॉज अना इज अ डिटैच्ड प्रोनाउन सो द मोमेंट यू एड लाकिन्ना अना चेंजेस टू नी सो इट बिकम्स लाकिन्नी रसूल. Now instead of I am a messenger, it says, however, I am a messenger. Still same thing. Yeah. Cool? That's all. That completes the second phase of our studies. Alhamdulillah. Okay? So far so good. Everything going well as planned. So this course has 3 phases. First was the basics of isms, everything, status, number, gender, type. Then we studied the fragments along with the introduction of huruf. Now is the third and the final part, which is the fail. So I know everything is important in this course, but now what we study is going to be the really the part that many people say it's difficult, but if you attend it regularly and go through the notes, you will find it that there is nothing difficult about it. There is nothing. It's super easy. And the way the syllabus is designed, you will see this is the speciality of this syllabus, that the student is not introduced to the fail till their basics of isms and the language and the infrastructure is understood by them. Now the ground is ready for them to get introduced to fail rather than introducing the fail right in the beginning of the course. And they get completely clean bowled. What is this? I don't understand anything. But now you have pretty much idea about the language, how it works. So now you are receptive. When I throw things at you, the kind of a fail, it will be easy. But for that, you really need to put, like the way we put extra efforts in the last 10 days of Ramadan. These are the last 10 days of our course. Or last, what is it? Today is what, 15th? So, okay, so 14 means 6 more days. So treat it like the last 10 days of Ramadan, how we put extra effort, extra salah, extra energy, same thing for the 6 days. Put it. First of all, whatever tables I send you a day before, today I'm going to send you one table of the past tense. You need to memorize it. If you don't memorize it, because in the normal course, we make sure that the student memorizes. In this course, we can't. So what we are assuming is we are sending a day before and we are assuming that the student has prepared herself or himself before the session. So now we can start from the memorization is done. Okay, now I start explaining the details. But in the normal class, we make sure that the student memorizes each and every one. No, tell me the table. Tell me that I want to know whether you have memorized. We don't go forward. But in this class, you have to understand, we are all grown up. We are here by our own. Nobody has put a gun on our head. Go and learn Arabic. So we should put that extra effort. Memorize the past tense table that I'm going to send you today. Super. I mean, not like stucking. It should be very clear. Nasara, Nasara, Nasaru, Nasarat, Nasarta, Nasarna, Nasarta, Nasartuma, Nasartum, Nasarti, Nasartuma, Nasartun, Nasartu, Nasarna. 14 words. The pronouns, like the pronouns. Memorize it. So that tomorrow when I start explaining the details, you already know what I'm talking about. Then day after tomorrow, the present tense. And then the other form of present. So every day I'm going to send you a table, you are supposed to memorize it. Only when you come with the preparation, it will make more sense and it will make things propel in a correct direction, in the correct speed. Otherwise, we'll be like, what is he telling? You need to flip notes again. We don't want that. So please, take out some time. It will take hardly 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes if you put your logic there, how to memorize it. Okay, memorize it and don't miss the session as much as possible. Any questions before I wrap it up? Okay, if not, then inshallah we'll wrap it up and meet tomorrow with the third phase of our studies, fail. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.